So what if it isn't actually doubt? Welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenise Hughes. I am so incredibly grateful that you are here, and I'm so incredibly grateful that I'm here. This is in the Florida Keys, Isla Madura, which I'm not saying correctly, and this is it's called Drop Anchor, and our suite it's called like a walkout suite. So you basically just walk out to this, and the pool is just over behind that white fence over there. Oh my goodness. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm sorry. I know I always talk about it as though everybody's watching the video, but if you're ever curious, you can always check it out on YouTube. I also put them, of course, on Facebook and stuff, so you can find them too. The link will probably be above or below. Also, if you can't find it, let me know. So, what if it isn't doubt? Like, yes, of course, you're doubting, but what if that isn't actually what's going on? Yeah. So, what if it's actually imposter syndrome? If you missed my show last week, we'll put a link above or below. Make sure to go check that out. And it's all about my journey with imposter syndrome, what you might be surprised to hear. And so kind of keeping with that, really looking at the doubt as what if it's not actually? What if it's not actually doubt? What if you're actually feeling like an imposter? And in order to basically distract yourself with that, to not look at that, you're more looking at the doubt as the problem. But what if it's actually the imposter syndrome? Now, I am doing a free call. It is something about a tool to crush imposter syndrome, something like that. And you'll find the link above or below. As always, if you don't see the links, let me know and I will get it for you. And that will be on November 8th. So if you're listening to this after, you can always just go to the same link and access the recording of it. And that is an invite into a 5-week program that I've got coming up in January. So really, if you look at that, if you start paying attention to when you're doubting, what if it's not that? Like, what if you basically go beyond that doubt and you look at, okay, what's actually going on here? What is this really? So let's say you're doubting, let's say you've got a new program that you're going to be putting out in your business, or you'd like to be putting out. Sorry, my hair is distracting me. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. So you look at that and you've got this new program that you'd like to put out there, but you're putting it off. You're not doing it. You're not taking the steps needed. What is that? And then you go into the doubt of, will this really succeed? Could I actually do this? What is actually, I can't do this, all the crazy, all the doubt. And you're spinning in that. Like, get curious about that. Like, do I feel like an imposter? Do I feel like a fraud? Do I feel like I can't do this? Do I feel like I'm not qualified to do this? Yeah, and what if, I'm actually getting rained on. So awesome. I was hoping to get the sunrise in the back because it should be coming up very soon, but I think we're just going to see beautiful clouds. So really looking at that doubting as something more. Go beyond the doubt. Get curious about that. And if it is imposter syndrome, and now what is imposter syndrome? It's basically, kind of as it sounds, it's when you doubt, when you feel like you're imposter, when you feel like you're not qualified, that you can't do it, that other people know more than you, that other people have the information and you don't. There's so many different ways that we can feel like an imposter. There's so many different ways it can show up. For me, a big one was really feeling like all the success that I was having was just luck. I just was lucky to be in that spot. I was lucky because of the hosts. I was lucky. And that is a huge energy of imposter syndrome that not a lot of people talk about. So with this, in terms of going beyond the doubt, really getting curious about the doubt, if it is imposter syndrome, what you're going to have to do is, one, just acknowledge it as that, like, wow, I feel like an imposter. I feel like I don't have the skills to do this. Stop. Now, maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe it is something that you require to have more education about or have some training in or something. Then that's fine. Then be honest with yourself about that. Of course, choose that. Go and get that training, whatever it might be. If it isn't though, if it's just truly imposter syndrome and you are qualified and you do have the skills and you are capable, then start choosing that energy. And I know that's a big ask. I get that. I really, really get that. And it's something you're going to have to do in order to really go beyond it. Now, of course, you can also join the 5-week program that we've got coming up in January. But for now, really start looking at what else could you choose in that? How else could you have all of you in what you're choosing and what you're creating? Is there another way? Are there other thoughts you could be thinking? Because here's the thing, guys. Our thoughts, although often we feel like we don't have a choice with them, they are our choice. Now, often what happens is we don't acknowledge that our choices or our thoughts are our choices. So we feel like they're running us, that we feel like that's just the way it is. We feel like that's the thoughts we have to think because they're there. Yes. However, if you are willing to be tenacious, if you're willing to call yourself out on your bullshit, then every time that thought comes up, I can't, I don't know how, I'm not qualified, look at that person over there, they know more than I do about this. Stop. Turn it around. How else could you reframe that? Could you say, wow, not necessarily do you have to go to the exact opposite, because I find that doesn't always work. In fact, I find that becomes where it's a bit of a struggle within myself of like, no, you're not, no, you can't, like where you're kind of fighting against yourself. So turn it into one of my favorite questions of like, I wonder what it would be like to feel confident to share this program. I wonder what it would be like if I did acknowledge the skills that I have with this. Turn it into that wonder, because that to me is such a spacious energy rather than the I have the skills to do it. For me, that doesn't work. If it works for you, that's awesome. Please do that. But for me, I just turn it into a I wonder, and that changes everything, because I wonder what it would be like to feel confident with this. I wonder what it would feel like to truly acknowledge my gifts, my capacities, my skills, my talents. Like, I wonder what that would be like. And so again, we go back to this tenacity of catching yourself with those thoughts that are all the imposter syndrome thoughts, and turning them, reframing them into something that would actually contribute to you. And again, my favorite, I wonder what that would be like. I wonder what it would be like to run this program from me, from my voice, from who I am, from what I know to be true. I wonder what that would be like. Now, I'm using a lot of words, but when I do it for myself in these situations, what I do is I actually truly wonder. I know it sounds crazy, but it's an energy. Like, I wonder, so I'm saying them quite quickly right now because of, the format of this, but if I was by myself, I would be doing something like, I wonder what it would be like to run this program with the confidence that I'm capable. Like, I wonder what that would be like. And I truly wonder what that would be like. Like, I take some time with that. So this is not something we want to just give lip service to. This is something that we really want to be wondering about. And in the energy of wondering and in the spaciousness of wondering, of like I wonder what that would be like. And take a moment now. So wherever you might have this doubt for yourself, so let's keep it business related, but it doesn't have to be. Of course, this can be any area of your life. Like, I wonder what it would be like to have the confidence in your business that you never imagined possible. I wonder what that would be like. Now, I don't know if you noticed this or not. If you're being present with this, you might have. In that question, there was like a whew. And this is something that I think is so important for us to recognize, is that spaciousness, that going beyond, that is something that you want to do a lot. Now, I find the I wonder questions really get me there, but you can just do that. You can just go beyond the limitation. And this is one of the things that I've been using to change things quite quickly, is to just energetically, one, recognize where you're at and go beyond it. And that is just the spaciousness of, I mean, I don't know how else to put it into words, but to recognize where you're at. So I've got this limitation. I'm playing as though I don't know. I'm pretending, I'm playing in doubt, whatever it is. Get the energy of that, which is usually quite constrictive, and then go beyond it. Yeah. Yeah. And it might be something, if that feels fun for you, it might be something that you want to practice to really get the sense of it, to really get that energy so that you can utilize it even in the times where you might think it's too hard to do it. Now, another way to kind of go beyond it, if energy isn't your thing, if that feels really confusing or overwhelming or you just don't know how, I really like the question of, like, if I didn't choose to feel like an imposter here, what could I choose? So we're acknowledging, once again, we're acknowledging what we're choosing, and then we're just curious about what's beyond that. Like, if I didn't choose this doubt, what could I choose? We probably don't even have words. Now, you could kind of do the correct response. Well, if I didn't choose doubt, I could choose confidence, like that sort of thing. But that's not what we're looking for. Like, we're looking again for the spaciousness, the energy of it. So you may not have words to respond to that, which is great. You do not never ever need words. It is often just the energy of it anyway. So if I didn't choose to doubt my ability to run a program, what could I choose? If I didn't doubt myself, what could I choose? If I didn't act as though I'm a fraud, what could I choose? Because fraud is a big energy for a lot of people who are playing with imposter syndrome. They often feel like a fraud, or they secretly, they maybe you don't say it out loud, but energetically and in your head, there's a lot of energy of a fraud. I can't do this. And then there's a lot of comparison also, where you're looking at other people and you're going, well, look how much more brilliant they are. Look at their posts on social media. I mean, they're way smarter than I am. They know way more about this than I do. They've been in business 10 years and I've only been in business 2 years. What do I know? So there's a lot of that energy with the fraud, and that's just another form of imposter syndrome. So if I didn't choose fraud, what could I choose? If I didn't distract myself with being a fraud, what could I choose? So notice how we're just acknowledging what is, and we're turning it into a question that opens it up, gives you another possibility, and you may not have words for that response, and that's totally fine. We're not looking for that. We're just looking to turn it around. So there's a few ways to change that, what you might be calling doubt and trying to fix as doubt, when really it's actually just this space of imposter syndrome that once you acknowledge it as such and start changing it, I wonder what magic might be possible then, my sweet friends. So once again, we've got a free call November 8th. If it's past November 8th and you're listening or watching this, then you can go and grab the replay. And then in January, we have got the 5-week program to crushing imposter syndrome and truly succeeding in business and life. Would love to have you come play. Have a great week, sweet friends. I look forward to chatting again next week.